Going super simple today. I'm going to show you how to make industrial strength shelving really cheap, really inexpensive, kind of quick. First thing, if you want to make them nice, just get really nice material and pretty much use the same technique. You can case it out, but what we're doing right now is we're making shelving for our kids class. They need to be able to store their stuff, so I'm not going super fancy. The lumber, why don't you show them the lumber? We got 3/4 inch board here. You can see there's all kinds of knots in it. This was pretty cheap, like 25 bucks a stick. We had them cut it at 16 inches wide, so you get 3 pieces. I'm clamping 2 pieces together to mark our sides. The fancier you're going, the nicer you want them, the more precise you want it to be. These are not that precise, but they're going to work for our purposes. So, measuring, we want 12-inch bays total. So if I measure, come over here and show this tape. If I measure 12 inches right here, and then put my bib across and then my shelf on top, I'm going to take away 3/4 of an inch. So I'm actually going to only end up with an 11 1/4 inch bay. So you're going to be really upset when you go to put your 12-inch book in there and it doesn't fit. So make sure you account for the thickness of your shelf. So in this case, we went 12 3/4, and then we went 25 1/2. That's just the way the math works out, so that we have 12 inches final, and it'll make more sense in a second. Now, once we made all our marks, you take your square and you're going to mark both boards so that they're exact. Okay, both boards. And I'm going to do it on both sides. Now the way I'm going to get the other side, show them this real quick. You can do it just by measuring down, taking your square, but if you happen to have a long square like this, like a drywall square, you can put it on your mark and you can come all the way across. Once you get it all the way across, put your other square here. Now you got a line on both. That's the way we're going to do it, but you could simply just mark both sides, put a line on both, and then just take a shorter square and make your line across, okay? But we just mark the one side, then I'm going to use the square. I'll do a couple here and show you. Just go all the way across, and then make sure you use this square to mark the edge of both boards on both sides. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this, and we'll come back to you and show you how to put the bibs on. All right, so because we cut all the plywood the same width, 16 inches, we're already ready to go with our shelf. I'm going to get 3 shelves out of this one because I measured 32 inches. I'm going to cut right on the line. Just be careful. Whatever width you want final, you know, if you're going to fit it into like a little space or something, make sure that you account for your sides. Right? We're using 3/4 inch plywood, so the 2 sides together is 1.5 inches. So if I want to go 32 inch final measurement, I don't want to measure a 32 inch shelf because I'll end up with 33.5 inches and it won't fit. So make sure you take the sides, you take it off of your final cut for your shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a bunch of shelves, and then we'll show you how to install them. We got all of our shelves cut. I'm going to take the clamps off. You can move this to the side. Just slide it over there. That's it. Now, we've got the marks that we put on here, right? So all I have to do now is take my square and mark this the same as this one. So we're just going to slide it all the way down. Now, we showed you marking both edges. That's not as important if you're going to use a square like this, but if you're not using a square like this, you just need to hold the straight edge up. You want to have a mark on both sides, and then you can hold your square up to both marks and draw across. But with the straight edge, you really only need to do one side. So for what we call a bib, or a brace or a support, we're going to use 1x2 pine. It's cheap. Like I said, if you're going to make a fancy bookshelf, you can use some molding instead. I'm going to place it. Remember, we made these lines, right? I got a little glue on here. We're going to put it right under the line. Now, just to make that point before, so you can plan ahead, if this was the thickness of my shelf, 3/4 inch, and this shelf was to go on top, now all of a sudden this open area is reduced by 3/4 of an inch. That's what I was talking about. So we went an extra 3/4, and now we have a full foot in here still. All right. So after I glue it, I'm going to screw it. We're going to use 1.25" drywall screws, or decking screws would work. Pop that in. If you got a little bow in your wood, don't worry, it'll take it out. Just going to put 2 in. Don't want to be too close to the edge. If you're too close to the edge, you'll split it. So we're just going to go all the way down on both sides. We have 12 total pieces. And then we'll show you how to snap it together. Okay, so if you've measured everything properly, taking your time calculating, the rest should be a piece of cake. The shells are just going to fit in here like that. All right, show this here. All right, you just butt it up there like that. All right, what we're going to do is put a little glue on the bib, stick this in, and then just screw it and screw both sides all the way down. Okay, and we'll just put them all the way down on both sides and we'll get back. Okay, so that's it. Now we'll stand it up.
You want to get it?
Yeah. So there you have your basic shelf unit. Now I just want to show you this real quick. If you wanted to use nice lumber and put this inside your house or something, you know, one of your kids' rooms, you could just case it out. 1x2, if you're using 3/4 inch, like if you're using like a clear pine or a poplar and you want to paint it, a 1x2 will be just about right for casing. You could use a 1x3, and then that'll cover a little bit of this bib. It would be more like that, but we're not going to do anything because this is going inside of a kind of a warehouse space. But you just case it all out all the way around. We're also not going to put a top on it because we have some tall items that need to go a little higher. Simple shelving.